Welcome to Hockey Wiz Talks podcast. In this podcast, I'll be talking about one move every Eastern Conference team should make. In this podcast, I'll be talking about one move every Eastern Conference NHL team needs to make before training camp starts. Atlantic Division teams. If the Boston Bruins want to thread the needle between retooling and remaining competitive, trading Jeremy Swayman to the Edmonton Oilers could be the boldest yet smartest move they could make. The trade would see Jeremy Swayman headed to the Edmonton Oilers in exchange for goaltender Stuart Skinner, forward prospect Matthew Savoy, top defensive prospect Bowie Aki, and their 2026 first-round pick. The Bruins get younger and cheaper in net with Skinner, while adding two high upside prospects and a first-round pick. But trading your franchise goalie would require Swayman's approval and could alienate some fans. The Buffalo Sabres are a team that don't really have to make any moves before the season, but if they were to make a move, it would be trading defenseman Bowen Byram. Buffalo Sabres trade Bowen Byram to the San Jose Sharks in a deal that blends roster balance with long-term upside. The Sharks would receive Bowen Byram, while the Sabres receive center prospect Philip Bystedt, defenseman Shakir Muhammadulin, and a 2027 first-round pick. Muhammadulin gives Buffalo a right-shot defenseman with top 4 potential. Bystedt adds size and skill down the middle, and the first-round pick is an added bonus. This trade may be risky for San Jose if they think that Byram will not resign after his contract is up. The Detroit Red Wings have some intriguing options to pursue, players who fit their timeline, fill positional gaps, and offer upside without mortgaging their future. The player the Red Wings should target is Rasmus Andersson of the Calgary Flames, a right-handed top 4 defenseman, something Yzerman has openly prioritized. Andersson is a player who logs heavy minutes and contributes in all situations. Best of all, he has a reasonable $4.55 million cap hit for this season. With Andersson set to be a UFA in 2026, Detroit would only have to give up William Wallinder and a 2026 second-round pick to acquire him. With Matthew Tkachuk likely starting the season on long-term IR, the Florida Panthers suddenly have up to $9.5 million in cap flexibility, a rare opportunity for a cup contender to retool. A player the Panthers could target is Jordan Eberle of the Seattle Kraken. Although Eberle is a shell of his former self, he could still be a productive veteran player on a playoff team that helps mentor young players. A trade for Eberle would require Seattle to retain a portion of his salary, so Florida would need to give up a prospect and a pick. And now a word from our sponsor. Check out my scouting blog at hockeywiz777scouting.com. Listen to my scouting blog podcast on podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/hockeywiz777scouting. The Montreal Canadiens are seriously linked to Marco Rossi as a trade target, and the buzz is getting louder. Rossi is a pending RFA who is asking for around $7 to $8 million per season on a long-term contract, but Minnesota is hesitant to give him that after a quiet playoff showing. Rossi is the perfect fit as the second-line center behind Nick Suzuki, and at 23, he aligns perfectly with Montreal's young core. A trade for Rossi could see Kirby Dach, Owen Beck, and a 2026 first-round pick being sent back to Minnesota. Adding Rossi to this young but talented squad could turn it into a contender. One move the Ottawa Senators could make is trade for Mason McTavish, an RFA center from Anaheim. He is from Carp, Ontario, just outside of Ottawa, and played for GM Steve Staios on the Hamilton Bulldogs. Last season, he posted 52 points, and at 22 years of age, he fits Ottawa's young core very well. With Anaheim and McTavish not aligned on contract terms, it could open up the possibility of a trade. Ottawa could offer a package like Shane Pinto and a first-round pick for McTavish. If Anaheim won't budge, Ottawa could explore an offer sheet, but that is unlikely. One smart move the Tampa Bay Lightning could make this offseason is trade for Mario Ferraro from the San Jose Sharks. Tampa allowed 19 goals in 5 playoff games against the Florida Panthers. Ferraro's shot blocking and PK chops could help fix that. He's currently on a $3.25 million expiring deal, and San Jose could retain 50% of that salary. Ferraro is very durable despite his playstyle and has played 60 plus games in every full season since debuting in 2019. A package like Connor Geekie and a 2026 third round pick could get it done. One bold move the Toronto Maple Leafs could make is trade for defenseman Dougie Hamilton from the New Jersey Devils. This is a high-risk, high-reward swing that could redefine their blue line. Hamilton brings elite puck-moving and power play skills to the blue line, something the Leafs sorely missed after losing Morgan Rielly's consistency. However, at 32 years of age, his $9 million AAV cap hit with 3 years remaining is a tough pill to swallow. A deal for Hamilton would see Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Calle Jarnkrok, defensive prospect Ben Danforth, and a conditional 2028 second-round pick that could become a first depending on performance being sent back to New Jersey. The deal hinges on New Jersey retaining at least 25% of Hamilton's salary. Check out my hockey blog at hockeywiztalkshockey.blogspot.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at hockeywiz777. Metropolitan Division teams. One savvy move the Carolina Hurricanes could make is trade for Brian Rust from the Pittsburgh Penguins, a cost-effective way to inject scoring and playoff experience into their middle six. He is a relentless forechecker who has scored 20-plus goals consistently and has 2 Stanley Cups under his belt. The Penguins are retooling and could use picks and prospects more than aging wingers, so trading him makes sense. He is under contract with a cap hit of $5.125 AAV and is an affordable player for a contending team. In exchange for Brian Rust, Carolina would trade Justin Robida and a 2026 third-round pick to Pittsburgh. A smart move the Columbus Blue Jackets should make is trade goaltender Elvis Merzlikins. Elvis Merzlikins has 2 years left on a contract which pays him $5.4 million AAV and has struggled with consistency. Jack Greaves looks ready for a full-time NHL role. A trade with the Pittsburgh Penguins for Tristan Jarry could work out well for both teams, but Columbus retains $1.5 million of Merzlikins' salary to make the deal work. While Jarry's inconsistency mirrors Merzlikins, a change of scenery could help both goaltenders. The New Jersey Devils are widely considered as frontrunners to land for Yegor Chinakhov, and the chatter is heating up for good reason. Chinakhov is a buy-low, high-upside winger who fits perfectly alongside Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt. His elite shot and speed could unlock 25-plus goal potential in a fast-paced Devils system. He is familiar with fellow Russians Arseny Gritsik and Evgeny Dadonov, which eases the transition. He is under contract for just $2.1 million this season and is a cost-controlled asset with breakout potential. A trade for Chinakhov would see New Jersey sending a 2026 second-round pick and a conditional 2027 third-round pick that could turn into a second-round pick if Chinakhov scores 20-plus goals. One savvy move the New York Islanders could make is trade Pierre Engvall to free up cap space and resolve their logjam at forward. Engvall is not waiver exempt, and with Maxim Sipkov, Mark Gatcomb, and Kyle McLean all fighting for roster spots, someone will be squeezed out. His contract is long and inflexible, making him a prime candidate to be moved out before training camp. New York Islanders can dump his salary to a team like Chicago or San Jose and fetch a late round pick in exchange. One strategic move the New York Rangers could make is trade for forward Jared McCann from the Seattle Kraken, a low-cost, high-upside swing that fits Mike Sullivan's system perfectly. McCann is a Sullivan favorite. They thrive together in Pittsburgh, and Sullivan values McCann's speed, versatility, and defensive reliability. McCann has scored 27-plus goals in 3 straight seasons and carries a manageable $5 million cap hit. In exchange for McCann, Seattle would receive Brennan Othmann, a 2026 second-round pick, and a conditional 4th-round pick, which upgrades to a second-round pick if McCann scores 25-plus goals. Listen to Hockey Wiz Talks podcast on Podbean and Spotify. One savvy move the Philadelphia Flyers could make is trade Ryan Ellis' contract to a cap-floor team like Anaheim, freeing up $6.25 million in dead cap and unlocking flexibility for the 26 or 27 season. Ellis is retired and hasn't played since the 21-22 season. Moving the contract allows Philly to accrue daily cap space instead of being stuck in LTIR purgatory. The Flyers would gain flexibility to retain salary in future trades, open up room to sign a goalie or defenseman in 2026 free agency, and sets up a cleaner roster structure for Matvei Michkov's prime years. A compelling trade target for the Pittsburgh Penguins is Jonathan Berggren from the Detroit Red Wings, especially if they are looking to inject youth and creativity into their middle six. His sub $2 million cap hit makes him an attractive option for a team like Pittsburgh that's navigating tight salary constraints. The Red Wings may be open to moving Berggren for a pick or a more physical depth piece. A mid-round pick or a prospect like Philip Hallander should be enough to start the conversation. One smart move the Washington Capitals could make this offseason is trading for Nick Robertson of the Toronto Maple Leafs. At 23, he was a former top prospect with goal-scoring flashes despite the limited ice time in Toronto. He would add depth scoring without breaking the bank and gives Washington a chance to develop a 20-plus goal scorer during Ovechkin's final years. It will likely cost a mid-round pick to acquire him. Check out my travel channel at youtube.com/HockeyWizTravels. There's still a lot of time in between now and training camp, so there's still a lot of time for these Eastern Conference teams to make some big-time moves that could drastically change the landscape of the playoffs. In my next podcast, I'm going to be talking about one move every Western Conference team should make.